MTAC Precision Arms, open 6 days a week. Full service gun repair and restorations from a professional gunsmith. Custom-made firearms and ammunition, all manufactured in our state-of-the-art facility. A large inventory of guns and ammunition for all your needs. We offer year-round concealed carry classes, and you can hone your skills at our indoor shooting range. If you're going to do it from distance with MTAC Precision Arms. The best kept secret in town is the Chew and Chat Cafe, classic Southern cooking with style. Start your day right at Chew and Chat Cafe with a plate of eggs cooked your way, or with our infamous hobo breakfast sandwich, or make the Chew and Chat your regular spot. Our daily specials and homemade recipes are one of a kind with prices that can't be beat. From our hand-patty burgers to our homemade chicken pot pie, shrimp creole and pimento cheese, Chew and Chat is sure to be a great meal. And Friday night is fish night, featuring fried flounder, trout and catfish, and our homemade banana pudding. We use local ingredients and cook everything fresh to order. So stop waiting and head on down to Chew and Chat Cafe, 1005 Westmount Drive in Rocky Mount, or call us about catering your next event. Open Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., and Wednesday through Friday for dinner starting at 5. Chew and Chat Cafe, classic Southern cooking with style.
Good day, Rocky Mount. It's Mike Keffer at Mike Keffer Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram on the 301 bypass between Rocky Mount and Wilson. How do you roll?
Ram it, you need to try out the new Ram pickup, Motor Trend's 2013 Truck of the Year. Mike Keffer offers a great selection of light and heavy-duty Ram trucks, whether you're hauling your yard trailer or a gooseneck fifth wheel. Don't be the one saying, ram it, ram it, ram it. I wish I would have bought a Ram truck, ram it. See the new Ram pickup at Mike Keffer Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or at mikekeffer.com.
Hi everyone, welcome to Blue Plate Special. I'm your host Andrew Breedlove, and today we've got a great show for you today. It's all about grilling. That's right, it's summertime. There's no better time to get that grill fired up and try some new things. So we're going to show you how to do some great spare ribs with a wonderful dry rub, as well as some skewers with some squash and onions. You're not going to want to miss it, so stay tuned for Blue Plate Special. Okay, so for these ribs, I like to do a nice dry rub. And what we start out with is we're going to put some garlic powder in here, and of course I don't really measure these ingredients. I just like to take and just sort of eyeball it, and let the aroma speak to me. The flavor. I put a little bit of garlic powder in there. I take cumin, put that in there, and I tell you, you can buy cumin in bulk. Might not be something that you think you can utilize a lot, but it's really versatile. Used to give something if you maybe do a Mexican food one night. Cumin is a main ingredient in a lot of Mexican dishes, so it's good to keep around the house and good to add a nice little bit of flavor to your food. Also, cumin is known to be a excellent digestive tool. It's great if you have an upset stomach. Take a little bit of cumin and help settle your stomach. So after the cumin, we're going to add some dried oregano. Maybe add a little bit more of that. And again, all of these spices, if you can buy them in bulk, go ahead and do that. I mean, the dry stuff's not really going to go bad, but it also will encourage you to use it a little bit more. So it's good to keep that on hand. We're going to do a little bit of paprika here, give it some nice color, a little bit of a smokiness there, and of course you can smell it. You can smell the cumin and the oregano, which work really well together, as well as the garlic powder. We're going to do some ground up red pepper here. Of course, you can leave this out if you want to. It adds a nice little bit of spiciness to the ribs. And we're going to add some black pepper. Of course, you can add white pepper as well. Of course, you can leave all those out if you want to cut down spiciness, but ribs are that much better. That barbecue sauce really tastes good if you have a little bit of spiciness on those ribs. And of course, with this rub, we're not going to rub it in, and I'll show you what I mean. We're not going to rub it in too much because we don't want it to burn once we put this on the grill. But we're going to add some chili powder here, but we don't want it to burn on the meat, so we're not going to rub it in very well. We're just going to put it on the outside, and it'll give it a nice flavor. And then my secret ingredient is I like to add just white sugar. Of course, you can use brown sugar if you want to do that, but I just like to take white sugar and do that. And then I'll come in here and just mix this up nice and good. See if I got what I want in here. See if the colors are working well. Okay, so one of the first things we're going to do before we get to cooking is we've got to get our grill ready. And of course, you can choose to use whatever kind of grill you want. You can use propane or you can use charcoal. I prefer charcoal. I think it gives the meat a much richer taste, a much more meaty taste. But you know, it's up to you really. And one of the little tricks that we're going to do today is we're actually going to add some wood chips to what we're doing, and it'll give it a little bit of a smoky flavor as well. So I'll show you what I do. A lot of people like to use standard lighter fuel for using charcoal, but I use one of these chimneys, and these are actually very inexpensive, and you save a lot of money instead of having to buy the fuel all the time. And I use this, and it's very easy to use. You just put some coal in it. You don't have to fill it up to the top. It holds quite a bit. And what I'll do is I'll actually take some of the paper from the bag, and I'll just simply put it right up under here, under the chimney. There's a little hole there in the bottom. And then I'll take my lighter, I'll come in here, I'll light the bag just like this. I'll get it nice and lit up. And of course with the coals, you have to give them 15 to 20 minutes to really get heated up and get ashy. Right now they're just coal. We got to get them heated up, but we're going to wait 15-20 minutes, and these things will be nice and good. This bag's going to burn out here. That nice, make sure that's all lit up. This bag's gonna burn down, and it's gonna get these coals heated up, and that's all you got to do. Just let it sit for a few minutes, and we'll come back here in a few minutes and show you what it looks like. And of course, I've already taken some of the membrane off here, and you know, there's always the age-old debate of whether you should take the membrane off the ribs or not. It's really up to you. I would say try it both ways and see what you like. It's really not going to hurt you if you choose to keep it on there. It's not going to hurt you if you keep it off there. It's really up to you. So the first thing I'll do is I'll take, and I usually do this. You can do it the day before if you'd like to let some of that rub settle in, but I'll do this, you know, 30 minutes to an hour before I put these on the grill. So I'm just going to take this, take a big handful, and I'm just going to put it on there. And again, you want to get it in there, but you don't want to rub it in too much. Just take and get it nice and get your meat covered there. Move it around a little bit. Get that covered. And we're going to take, and you watch this, if you do this right, you can take, and there'll be a lot of stuff that'll just fall off, and if you get it just right, when you flip it over, it'll pick it right back up on the other side. And we're going to take some more of this dry rub, just put it on this side as well, and again, don't rub it in too much, just get it on there, try to get it nice and covered. I'm starting to run out here. It's good to have just the right amount there. Of course, you can keep this, put it in a bag. You can keep it in a cool, dry place and use it again and again and make as much as you need. If you need to make more, you can always just get your bowl out and mix up a little bit more of this. Just cover that there. And there we go. So that's our dry rub. You can just take that, just put it on there like that. Let that sit. You can let it sit in the fridge overnight if you want to. You can just let it sit out until you're ready to grill. Of course, if you're going outside, make sure you cover it up so that the bugs and flies don't get to it. But you can just let that go until you're ready to throw it on the grill. Okay, so our coals are just about ready. I'll actually show them to you here. You can see them a little bit there. They're getting nice and ashy right on top, and of course, right when they get ashy on top, you know they're just about ready. And of course, this is the part where you want to be the safest. You know, you want to make sure you don't have anything flammable around. I know we're on a wooden deck here, but as long as we're safe, we should be okay. Again, I mentioned earlier when you're doing this, you don't want to fill a chimney up like this all the way to the top, because it'll be enough coals to cover all of your grill here. And with this, we don't want to cover the whole grill. We just want to cover a side of the grill to get the heat there for the ribs. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take this. We're just going to pour these out in a section here. And what I'll do with my chimney is I'll actually go put it on just a cold stone, away from grass, away from anything like that could cause a problem. And again, it doesn't look like a ton of coals, but that's okay. We don't need a bunch of coals. Just need enough to get it here, spread it out on the side here. That's what we're going to use that for. Nice little heat source for our ribs. And what I do with this, with a charcoal grill, the key is temperature control, and it can be a little bit more challenging with the charcoal grill because obviously If you don't have a thermometer on it, it's hard to control, as well as the coal as well. So if you shut off all the vents, you're going to cut off the air supply to the coal, which will cause it to burn out sooner. So what we're going to do with this, because we want it to burn for 45 minutes to an hour, we're going to open the bottom vents about halfway. Of course, we did this before we put everything together with the grill. Open the bottom vents about halfway, and we're going to leave the top grate open about halfway as well. Again, we mentioned we were going to add some wood chips. So what I'm going to do to this spot that is exposed is I'm going to add some wood chips that we've had soaking. And you don't really need a bunch, you just need a few. And of course the water they're soaking in is going to actually add to that smoky flavor as well. And I just add a few there, and those will stay nice and warm along with those coals. But you're going to add those, and then after you do that, you're going to want to take and add your grill rack. Just going to take that, I'm going to grab it with a pair of tongs. I'm just going to lay it in there just like that. And the great thing about this too is that if you need to adjust things or whatnot, you have a little bit of space to do that. So get that ready, and then we're going to go ahead and grab our ribs and add them. Alright, so here we go. So we have our coals on one side, we have our wood chips on the other, and of course those wood chips are there for flavor. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our ribs, our nice big slab of ribs, we're just going to add them to the side with no coals. And what we're going to do with our lid is we're going to turn it this way, and we're going to open the vent about halfway to make sure we're getting some air in there. And we're going to make sure that the meat side, the vent is on the meat side, so that way that when the air is going in there, it's going across the meat to add some of that flavor from those wood chips as well as that coal.
The best kept secret in town is the Chew and Chat Cafe, classic Southern cooking with style. Start your day right at Chew and Chat Cafe with a plate of eggs cooked your way, or with our infamous hobo breakfast sandwich, or make the Chew and Chat your regular spot. Our daily specials and homemade recipes are one of a kind with prices that can't be beat. From our hand-patted burgers to our homemade chicken pot pie, shrimp creole, and pimento cheese, Chew and Chat is sure to be a great meal. And Friday night is fish night, featuring fried flounder, trout, and catfish, and our homemade banana pudding. We use local ingredients and cook everything fresh to order. So stop waiting and head on down to Chew and Chat Cafe, 1005 West Mountain Drive in Rocky Mount, or call us about catering your next event. Open Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., and Wednesday through Friday for dinner starting at 5. Chew and Chat Cafe, classic Southern cooking with style.
Good day, Rocky Mount. It's Mike Keffer at Mike Keffer Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram on the 301 bypass between Rocky Mount and Wilson. How do you roll?
Ram it, you need to try out the new Ram pickup, Motor Trend's 2013 Truck of the Year. Mike Keffer offers a great selection of light and heavy-duty Ram trucks, whether you're hauling your yard trailer or a gooseneck fifth wheel. Don't be the one saying, "Ram it, ram it, ram it. I wish I would have bought a Ram truck, ram it." See the new Ram pickup at Mike Keffer Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or at MikeKeffer.com.
Well, what would great barbecue be without great barbecue sauce? We've already done a rub that we've put on our ribs. Now we're going to do a nice sauce that we'll add right at the end, and then we'll have it to dip the ribs in later. You remember that dry rub we did? We're going to use all of those ingredients as well as a few other things. I'm going to start here. I'm just going to get my pot here. I'm going to go ahead and turn this on here. I'm just going to start with a good bit of ketchup. Again, I don't really measure things out too much. I just like to get things started. We're going to add some apple cider vinegar, but we're not going to add a lot. We're just going to add just a couple of splashes there. But again, the ketchup's got vinegar in it. If you want to do more vinegar-based without the ketchup, of course you can leave the ketchup out. You can add diced tomatoes, or you can add some form of tomato like that and then just add your own vinegar that way. But I like to do it like this just to save a couple of steps. All right, so again, we're going to add some of the stuff that we had from our dry rub earlier. Have some oregano, and again I'm just going to eyeball this. Shoot for maybe a teaspoon of each, half a tablespoon, somewhere in that range. Red pepper. Of course, if you want your sauce to not be quite as spicy as your dry rub, just cut back on your red pepper and your black pepper. Of course, I'm going to add a good bit here to give it a nice kick. some garlic powder. So that was good. Of course, there's a difference between garlic powder and garlic salt. Garlic powder does not have the salt included, so if you're going to use garlic salt, just make sure you adjust accordingly with the amount of salt that you add. Of course, a little bit of cumin. We're not going to add too much of this, just about half a teaspoon to a teaspoon. Don't want to overdo it, just want to give it that nice smoky flavor. And then, of course, some chili powder. Going to add a good bit of chili powder there. And then instead of adding white sugar for this, I will just do brown sugar. I'm just going to add some brown sugar in there. And of course, you can add, a lot of people like to do crushed red pepper flakes. Of course, you can do that, nothing wrong with that. And we're just going to give this a nice stir. So we're just going to give that a nice stir. We're going to bring it to a boil, let it simmer. If it gets a little thick for you, you can add a little bit of water, maybe a splash or two of vinegar. Okay, so while our ribs are on the grill, again, they're going to stay there for about an hour. Not gonna touch them, just leave them alone. While they're on the grill, we're going to go ahead and get our skewers ready. And what I've done here, what I do is I go ahead, I've got squash, onion, and mushrooms, pretty standard. You can do bell pepper, really whatever you want to do. Some people do carrots and all sorts of things, but mushrooms, onion, squash, pretty generic there in terms of skewers. But I have these nice metal skewers. You can use wooden ones. Of course, if you're going to use wooden skewers, make sure you soak them before you put them on the grill. Soak them for at least a couple of hours so that way that the wood does not burn up on the grill. So we're going to add some, I've already taken, what I do is I actually take a bowl and I go ahead and mix all of my ingredients in this bowl. And then I throw some oil in here and I just throw them into the oil just like this. And then I add a little bit of salt. Add some salt. Then I go ahead and add some pepper, and we're also going to add just a pinch, just a touch of cumin, and we're just going to throw it all together again just like this. Get everything nice and incorporated. Of course, tomatoes are good on here, little Roma tomatoes, baby tomatoes, good up here. Maybe you have some extra tomatoes you just want to get rid of. Slice those up and put them right on there. I'm just going to start to skewer these. No real order necessary, just whatever you want to do. Some people will maybe do all onions on one, all mushrooms on one. We're just gonna do a little combination here, nice. And make sure you don't overcrowd your skewer. If you put too much stuff on the skewer, it's harder to maneuver on the grill. You don't have as much space. So you want to make sure that you leave enough space. One more mushroom, maybe a thin piece of onion. We have plenty of squash. So we're just gonna top it off with a couple of pieces of squash. And what I do to make sure I don't overcrowd it is I will put my thumb right here on the end and I make sure I hit that spot. So if I need a little bit extra room, I can push it down or whatnot. So that's one. And I'm gonna make, you make however many you have people you're serving. So we're gonna do another mushroom. Okay, so our ribs have been up here for about 45 minutes, and I've added a few fresh coals here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take these kebabs here and I'm going to lay them right here on top of where those hot coals are. And do that just to get some nice grill marks on them. Got a little bit of a flare up there. We're just going to cover the lid and let that flare out there. We'll let that cook for a few minutes. Check it back here in a few minutes, and when we come back, we'll have some ribs and some skewers. Stay with us. Okay, folks, well, it's that time. The ribs have been up here for about an hour, and we just let them sit up here and catch a lot of that nice smoky flavor from those charcoal briquettes. And we, about 10 minutes ago, put our skewers up here with squash, mushrooms, and onions. Now we're gonna take all this stuff off and go ahead and eat. You gotta be careful. Make sure none of this stuff flares up. Some of that grease will fall down in there and flare up on you. So just keep an eye on that. Looks like our skewers are good to go. And of course, a few minutes ago, I came in here and actually basted part of the ribs with the barbecue sauce. If you have a big slab like this, maybe leave half with the dry rub. It's really tasty, even without sauce right on the grill here. But we put a little bit up here just to let it soak in. But we're gonna go ahead and get these up here. There's nice juices running off there. And just like a steak, with ribs, you're going to want to do the same thing. We'll let them rest a few minutes before you start cutting into them. And with these, what we're actually going to do is cut them into pieces and serve them just like that. I'm going to go ahead and in the same dish, go ahead and just add these skewers right here. And we're ready to go. Hey folks, well, we've taken our ribs off the grill as well as our skewers, and we've let them rest for a few minutes to let those juices settle back in. What we're going to do now is we're just going to go in and we're going to cut them up into nice pieces. You can cut them up into ribs of 3, 4, 5, 6, however you want to do it. Or you can cut them into 1s and 2s. We're just going to cut a piece here for us to try. I'm going to come in here. So there we go, folks. There you can see that wonderful color, sauce right on top. Now let's try these. This is one that I've already got some sauce on. Oh my goodness. You would not believe how easy these are once you taste them. It's absolutely incredible. The sauce just enhances that dry rub, which is not burned in on the skin or anything. Nice little sear on the back here. The meat is tender. You can still see a lot of the juices. Boy, these are some delicious ribs. You have to try them. All right, folks, well, we hope you've enjoyed today's show. We've shown you some really easy ribs that'll taste just like anything you can get at a restaurant, as well as some great skewers with some wonderful vegetables, onions, squash, mushrooms, all sorts of tasty stuff. For Blue Plate Special, I'm Andrew Breedlove. Keep cooking, everybody. We'll see you next time.
The best kept secret in town is the Chew and Chat Cafe, classic Southern cooking with style. Start your day right at Chew and Chat Cafe with a plate of eggs cooked your way, or with our infamous hobo breakfast sandwich, or make the Chew and Chat your regular spot. Our daily specials and homemade recipes are one of a kind with prices that can't be beat. From our hand-patted burgers to our homemade chicken pot pie, shrimp creole, and pimento cheese, Chew and Chat is sure to be a great meal. And Friday night is fish night, featuring fried flounder, trout, and catfish, and our homemade banana pudding. We use local ingredients and cook everything fresh to order. So stop waiting and head on down to Chew and Chat Cafe, 1005 Westmount Drive in Rocky Mount, or call us about catering your next event. Open Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., and Wednesday through Friday for dinner starting at 5. Chew and Chat Cafe, classic Southern cooking with style. Intact Precision Arms, open 6 days a week. Full service gun repair and restorations from a professional gunsmith. Custom made firearms and ammunition, all manufactured in our state-of-the-art facility. A large inventory of guns and ammunition for all your needs. We offer year-round concealed carry classes, and you can hone your skills at our indoor shooting range. If you're going to do it from distance with Intact Precision Arms.
Good day, Rocky Mount. It's Mike Keffer at Mike Keffer Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram on the 301 bypass between Rocky Mount and Wilson. How do you roll?
Ram it, you need to try out the new Ram pickup, Motor Trend's 2013 Truck of the Year. Mike Keffer offers a great selection of light and heavy-duty Ram trucks, whether you're hauling your yard trailer or a gooseneck fifth wheel. Don't be the one saying, "Ram it, ram it, ram it. I wish I would have bought a Ram truck, ram it." See the new Ram pickup at Mike Keffer Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or at MikeKeffer.com.